A small group of orcas is causing a lot of damage to boats off the Iberian Peninsula.
The world watched in disbelief as headlines emerged from the coast of Europe. Boats torn apart, crews thrown into chaos, and one chilling fact no one could ignore: orcas were behind it. Once seen as majestic but gentle giants of the sea, these apex predators are now at the center of a growing wave of attacks. What's driving these deadly encounters? The truth might be darker than anyone ever imagined. For decades, orcas in captivity have been known to lash out, sometimes fatally, but in the wild, never. These apex predators have always been seen as majestic, calculating, and even gentle toward humans. That was until now. Between 2020 and 2024, over 673 incidents were recorded off the coasts of Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and France. The pattern: orcas were singling out medium-sized sailboats under 29 feet, often focusing their attacks on one specific point: the rudder. What started with a few seemingly random strikes quickly escalated into something darker, deliberate, coordinated, and unnervingly intelligent. The following incidents left many scientists and humans with questions. One of the most dramatic attacks occurred. It started quietly, almost beautifully. It was supposed to be a routine delivery, but just before dawn last October, in the vast dark waters off Portugal, something extraordinary and unnerving happened. Arthur Napoleão, a veteran skipper and sail instructor, had taken this route countless times. The sea was familiar, and the task was straightforward: deliver a boat to a client. At 4 a.m., it was his turn to rest. He stepped below deck, settled in, and tried to catch a few hours of sleep. Then, boom!
At 4 a.m., I start taking my nap, and 30 minutes later, boom!
Napoleão recalled the incident and said, startled, he rushed up to the deck and saw them. A pod of orcas, circling like silent sentinels beneath the waves. They messed around with the yacht for 5 minutes, bumping it, watching and testing. Then, as quickly as they had come, they vanished, only to reappear again and again. 3 visits, several hours. The final one happened after sunrise. Napoleão later admitted and said,
until I see the orcas and see their movements, how gentle they were when I stopped the boat.
It wasn't an isolated encounter. It was part of a surge in orca confrontations gripping the waters between Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. And the numbers tell a chilling story. In the last 3 years, hundreds of boats have reported orca interactions, many of them terrifying and some downright destructive. According to the Spanish research group GTOA, the Strait of Gibraltar alone saw over 200 such incidents in 2022, and these encounters are not always gentle. In one recent attack, a boat sailing through the strait was surrounded by orcas in broad daylight. The crew tried to scare them off with loud noises and banging metal. The whales didn't flinch. Instead, they rammed the boat relentlessly for over an hour, ultimately shearing off the rudder and tearing open the hull. Seawater poured in as the crew issued a mayday. They were towed to shore, shaken but alive. In another case off the Spanish coast, 3 orcas repeatedly struck a yacht, battering it until it finally sank, moments after the Spanish Coast Guard rescued the crew. And that's not all. Some days it's not 1 attack, it's 2, sometimes 3. Rui Alves, the creator of orcas.pt, a website built to log these encounters in real time, had this to say.
We have we are having 1 incident every day, in average. Okay, there are days that we have 2 or 3.
His platform maps sightings, relays warnings, and connects sailors across Spain and Portugal. His idea is simple but powerful. Share the danger, avoid the danger. If people know where the orcas are, Alves explained, maybe they wait a day, maybe they change course. That information could save a boat. Want to dive deeper into the chaos these orcas are unleashing? Smash that like button, subscribe for more wild revelations, and share this video before the next rudder gets ripped clean off. In another incident, a British sailor, Greg Blackburn, thought he was imagining things when a pod of orcas approached his boat off the Spanish coast, but within minutes, what followed was pure chaos. For over an hour, the orcas repeatedly rammed the rudder, biting, pushing, and testing the vessel. Blackburn watched in awe and fear as what appeared to be a mother orca nudged her calf forward, almost teaching it how to strike the rudder. It was like a lesson, he later said. They were practicing. It felt like we were part of some training session. Though the boat survived, the rudder was completely destroyed. But the worst part wasn't the damage, it was the implication. This behavior was being passed down, learned, inherited, which meant it could continue for generations. What's causing these attacks? Why are the orcas doing this? And more urgently, who will be next? The orcas in question belong to a distinct subpopulation found only near the Iberian Peninsula. Critically endangered and culturally unique, these killer whales, despite their name, have never been known to harm a human directly. But they've developed a new and mystifying behavior, targeting boats. Theories are swirling. Some experts believe it's all part of an elaborate game, a form of play among highly intelligent, curious animals. Others think it might go deeper. Could these attacks be born of trauma, revenge? One name comes up often: Gladys White, a female orca suspected of suffering a traumatic run-in with a boat. Some researchers believe she may be leading these attacks and teaching others to do the same. Could this be orca culture in action? Not everyone agrees. It's just not something we've ever seen, said Monica Whelan-Shields, director of the Orca Behavior Institute. They're the top predator in the ocean. They can hunt sharks, seals, anything, but they've never turned that power toward humans. Despite their nickname, killer whales are the largest members of the dolphin family and among the smartest animals on the planet. To date, no humans have been injured in these maritime encounters, but for sailors traversing the waters of Orca Alley, the fear is growing. Spanish and Portuguese authorities launched a full investigation. Marine biologists, researchers, and government officials came together to decode the mystery. Their conclusion? It wasn't aggression, it was a fad. One young orca, possibly intrigued by the vibrations of a boat's propeller, may have accidentally bashed into a rudder. When it snapped off, the orca may have found it entertaining, rewarding. That single moment could have sparked a trend. Orcas are notorious for their copycat behavior. Just like humans, they have fads. Now scientists believe rudder bashing might be this pod's new version of a salmon hat. Back in 1987, a female orca in Puget Sound started wearing a dead salmon on her head. Strange, right? But soon others joined in, and for weeks, salmon hats were all the rage. Then, just like that, the trend died out. But that play is sinking boats. So far, no foolproof solution exists. To reduce interactions, researchers are testing new solutions like altering rudder textures to make them less appealing. So far, the results are mixed. Mariners are advised to avoid known conflict zones, steer clear of orcas when spotted, and never attempt to scare them off. Loud noises might actually make it worse, turning a dangerous encounter into just another part of the game. The good news: the attacks seem to be slowing. Scientists believe we've already hit the peak, and just like every other orca fad before, this too may soon fade. But the message has been sent loud and clear. The oceans are not ours alone. Orcas are watching, learning, adapting, and sometimes they fight back.